let's get a look at this. It's pitch black in there.
Welcome to the Edible Files, where we ruin all the nice things you like to eat. July 6, 2013, a 50-year-old industrial worker named Janio Salinas Velarda walked into the CSC sugar processing plant in Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, for a standard shift. By 4 p.m., his workspace was completely deserted. When his supervisor went to check on him, Janio was nowhere to be found.
Janio!
But the scene he left behind was instantly alarming. His personal safety equipment was abandoned right next to his workstation, and a metal safety screen that normally covered the mouth of a massive industrial hopper had been completely detached. Local police officers and investigators rushed to the factory. Detectives launched a sweeping search of the industrial complex. They interviewed coworkers,
This is the only time he was here.
checked employee access logs, and pulled the facility's external security footage. Investigators shifted their focus directly to Janio's specific final tasks at the factory. They needed to map out his exact movements during the final hour before his disappearance. The breakthrough came when a senior forensic investigator walked past the main processing line and stood directly above the open, gaping mouth of the industrial storage hopper.
Supervisor! I need you up here!
The machine was a massive funnel designed to funnel fine, raw materials down into packaging units below. The safety screen that Janio had been working on was meant to block anything large from falling into the mechanism.
All right, let's get a look at this.
The investigator got down on his hands and knees, shining a high-powered forensic flashlight deep into the dark, massive tunnel. Near the bottom base of the machinery, his light caught a subtle, disturbing indentation in the tightly packed material. There were clear physical indicators of a frantic, sudden struggle. He immediately ordered a specialized recovery team and an industrial maintenance crew. The recovery crew spent hours painstakingly draining the massive funnel, working side by side with investigators who watched every pound of material exit the machine. Deep at the base of the machine, buried beneath the weight of the material, lay a body of Janio Salinas Velarda. The forensic pathologist's initial examination confirmed that he had died rapidly of asphyxiation. The factory had been running a massive production line when a giant, dense clump of material became firmly wedged inside the funnel, completely clogging the machine. Janio had been forced to detach the safety screen and step onto the edge of the hopper to physically break up the obstruction so the factory line could continue moving. As he leaned over to dislodge the jam, the dense block suddenly broke apart, triggering a violent, rapid quicksand effect, pulling him downward into the narrow funnel, the exact catalyst behind the entire tragedy. It was ordinary, raw granulated sugar. The factory was processing hundreds of tons of commercial sugar for consumer packaging. Because sugar is highly sensitive to moisture and humidity, the fine grains had naturally bonded together, forming massive, solid shelves of hardened sweetness that choked the machinery. Just 2 weeks prior, the exact same machine had experienced a near miss where another worker was neatly pulled into the sugar quicksand but managed to grab the edge of the hopper just in time. The forensic evidence gathered from the hopper proved that the tragedy was entirely preventable, resulting in massive safety citations for the plant. The case became a historic real-world textbook example of how an ordinary kitchen staple can fundamentally act as a lethal physical force. True story. YouTube thought you might like this next suggested video. Subscribe!